What's up, guys? In today's video, I'll be reacting to Tydebo'S tier list on the best pink diamonds in the game today. Let's get right into it.
What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking each and every one of our top best pink diamonds in NBA 2K25 Myteam on a tier list. Now, I do want to say, I don't have every pink diamond.
Of
I
course.
have basically all the pink diamond that I think have some relevance in this game, and maybe even some extras that wouldn't have to be on this list. But we've got a ton of pink diamonds. So, look, if you drink coffee, get your coffee ready. If you eat popcorn, get your popcorn ready. And honestly, do what you got to do. We might be here a while, but I'm hoping by the end of this thing, you guys love me as much as I love you. So thank you guys for all the recent support on the channel. Let me sip my coffee as I get into the campaign.
He stinks. F tier, man.
From Myteam.
He doesn't even deserve D.
That coffee is strong today, but I need it strong. Kevin Myteam can't shoot, but he does a lot.
Okay, C tier for the Kembe Mutombo is crazy. What is this guy talking about? He's really glazing him. He does not deserve C tier. Let's just look at him. 82 speed, decent, but not that great. But the thing I really don't like about the Kembe is the 40 3-point shot. So I would compare the Kembe more to Shaq than to a player like Brad Miller, which I'm sure he's going to do. He really sucks though. Even if you look at his animations, he has like one of the worst releases in the game. He's really slow with the ball in his hand. All he's on the court for is basically playing defense and dunking the ball in the paint. For the rest, he's useless. He's really trash. Not C tier, that's for sure.
A lot of things on the court decently well. He rebounds well. His speed is decent. I don't mind the Kembe Mutombo. I'm going to go C tier. I think that's where the card belongs. Calvin Nat up next. I'm going to go B tier.
Yeah, he's good.
Calvin
He's
Nat,
good.
I think defensively, the card's incredible. Offensively, his three-ball might not be that high. Everything else about Calvin Nat, I don't mind whatsoever. So
the thing with Calvin Nat that doesn't make him top tier is that the fact that he's only 6'6" at small forward. But for the rest, he's a really good card.
That's where I'm at with Calvin Nat. I do think B tier is the right spot for the card. Chris Mullen at
Stinks.
tier,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go D tier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go D tier. I'm gonna go C tier.
Ooh, C tier for Mullen is crazy though, because he can hardly dunk the ball. He's decent defensively, but his interior isn't great. Let's just look at the card. Seriously. He really is so mediocre. He kind of stinks. 75 driving dunk. He can hardly dunk the ball. 75 interior. Just he's unswitchable, because if he switches with a big man, he'll just get destroyed in the post. His badges are pretty good, but he is still missing a couple key badges like brick wall, high flying denier, paint patroller. And his animations, this is the biggest problem. He has no sinks, and his jumper is really mediocre. So to be honest, I liked where he ranked Chris Mullen first, but C tier is way too high for my ranking.
But Chris Mullen came out in season 1, so I mean at this stage it's hard for me to really hype the card up a whole ton. I still do think he deserves C tier, but I don't love the card. Paul George,
Believe me, you're already hyping him up.
S tier. I
Yeah.
will hype up Paul George forever. I will.
He's really good.
Because I think he's still to this day one of the best shooting guards in the game. A lot of people, oh Ty, he's not that good anymore. Man, be quiet. Paul
Yeah.
George is one of the best guards in the game. Ryan Artest, I don't think he's quite as good as Paul George.
He's not.
He is S tier. Like, he is 100% an S tier shooting guard in this game. Pink Diamond Wade, C tier. He's not horrible.
I would say D tier, to be honest. His release stinks, especially because it's unnormal. He isn't a shot creator. He's a pretty good defender, but all you have him on the court for is just defense and slashing. But that release just is so bad. You can't put him in C. I'd honestly take Chris Mullen over D Wade.
But he doesn't hold anything compared to the dark matter D Wade. Zach Levine, S tier.
For sure.
Gosh, we just gonna have a lot of people in S tier. Maybe
I'll say C tier. C tier.
C
Yeah.
I don't mind
He's
him,
decent.
but offensively, he's just not.
I just can't handle D Wade being the same tier as GP. D Wade should go down. He's not as good defensively, and his release is nowhere near as good as GP's release.
At this stage,
He's really good.
S-tier.
Yeah.
Now again, I feel like we're gonna have a lot of S tier cards. I don't like doing this. Franz Wagner.
S tier.
S. Look,
I know Tydebo'S can't green with France, but that's his problem. His release is phenomenal. Believe me.
I struggle to green sometimes with Franz, but he's 6'10", his movement's good, his release is solid. I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually. KG, I'm going to go B tier. I don't love KG.
No. KG sucks. He really does suck. Let's just look at this card again. He's not that fast at all. Wait, I'll say. His release sucks. Kevin Garnett. There we go. So he has a low free ball, a horrible release. He's a pretty good slasher, but not amazing. His speed is pretty good too. I would just say if he had a good release, I'd be happy with him. He would be one of the best power forwards in the game. But because his release is so slow and so baited, I kind of want him in C tier, to be honest.
It's methodical. It's not great, but I still think KG's a fine card. I'm going to throw a B tier there.
He stinks. He stinks.
He
He should probably be D tier. His release sucks.
I don't think he's good. Pink Diamond Dirk, I'm going to throw him at C tier. He's not
Yeah.
bad. The Opal Dirk is just way better.
That's very true.
Dirk. Victor Wembanyama, the
Best card.
still to this day in the entire game, is a Pink Diamond Wemby, which is crazy, but he still is the overall best card in the game.
He's just so glitchy. The animations, the standing dunks he gets, you can't stop him. You really can't.
No debating that. James Harden, I don't like when people hate on James Harden. If you badge up James Harden, you got a really good point guard. And there are some people.
If you badge him up, but are we talking about a badge up James Harden right now in this tier list, or are we talking about base James Harden? Base James Harden is B tier, which this one is.
That hate on James Harden. Don't ask me why. I don't know why they've got so much hate in their heart. James Harden's good. Greg Oden, I'm going to go A tier with Greg Oden.
Yeah.
Now I want you guys to stop for a moment and let me know. Just think out loud. How do you guys think this tier list is going? I actually think this is a good tier list. However, I feel like some people might not love
Not really.
it. So I don't know. This is what's hard about doing tier lists is, you can't please everybody. You just can't. Tier lists are hard. They're hard to do. But I don't like the fact that...
It's true, but if you tried every card, then you'd know where they rank.
Right now, when I'm doing this tier list, I don't like the fact that I've got nobody at D tier or F tier. I don't like that. So maybe we'll have to adjust some things.
You're supposed to. There are a lot of cards I see in this list that are supposed to be there.
Derek White, A tier. I'm going to move James
He's
Harden.
not A tier. He can't dunk. What is he talking about? A point guard who can't dunk, and he's not undersized, but he just can't dunk. Put him in that B tier, man. He's not that good.
Down to B tier. I think Derek White is an absolute stud on this game. I genuinely think he's a
Hyping him
I
up.
think I can move some of these guys down. I'm going to move Finley down. I'm going to move Gary down.
Good.
I'm gonna
No,
move
not
Wade
Gary.
down.
Not Gary.
Dirk down. I'm going to move Mutombo down.
Gary should be C tier.
No, I'm not.
What?
How do I do-
What are you doing?
I think Mullins
Oh my.
better than Finley. I'm gonna go
What is?
You go like this. You go like this.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
that's a little better. Dikembe,
What is
I know
this?
Dikembe's cheesy. I get it. I know Dikembe can be cheesy.
He sucks. Good. D tier is the right spot, not C. Good. But D Wade should also be there, and Chris Mullin also should.
But I think
What's
I
happening
like this a
here?
little more- I don't know.
Serious.
Bob Matthew
S.
has got to go to S here. And I know maybe in the past I haven't put Bob Matthew always at S.
You might be able to argue A because of his lack of size, but he does everything else really well. He has a great release, really fast, great stat. He does everything you want a power forward to do.
S here, but he's 6'9", offensively a beast, defensively a stud. I mean, he's got to go at S tier, I think. Cade Cunningham has to go at S tier too.
Yep.
How do I do this tier list? I have no idea. I have no idea because all of these things.
Cade's D is mid though, but his release is really good, so I agree with S.
Are so good on this game. Yao Ming
Stinks.
here
He's
is the
horrible.
worst card on this list. I don't care. Shaq,
I'm not sure about that though. The worst. There are much worse cards, I
Dikembe's
think.
better than Shaq. F tier for Shaq. Paul Millsap's extremely good, but he's A tier.
Yep.
I really like Paul Millsap, but I do think at the end of the day, he is an A tier caliber card. John Morant, Pink Diamond, C tier. I mean,
I honestly think him and D Wayne should be in D tier. I'll explain you why. John Morant's D is horrific. The only thing you have him on the floor to do is just hit jumpers and dunk the ball. He can't do anything else. He should be D tier, to be honest.
offensively, he's better than Wade Gary. Defensively, he doesn't do anything compared to those cards. Jimmy Butler, B tier. I mean, defensively, Jimmy is absolutely incredible.
It's just his offense.
His offense is just horrible on this game. His release is not great. Hakeem Olajuwon, A tier. Not quite S tier, probably. But again, it's the debate of Hakeem or Bob McAdoo. I'm going to move Bob McAdoo down to A tier.
Bob McAdoo at power forward is miles better than Hakeem. He's just so much better than Hakeem Olajuwon. Just don't debate that. Miles McAdoo is so good.
And I love Bob McAdoo, but I think I've got to move the card down one tier and go from there. Larry Bird, not great. C tier. They really did not make Larry Bird good on this game.
I honestly think he's D tier, to be honest. Sure, he's pretty good defensively, but his release sucks, and he can hardly dunk. 75 dunk is just horrible.
Evan Mobley up next. Solid card.
Yeah, he's decent.
I don't think he's
Again, the problem with the card is his release. It's just he has the worst base one of the worst bases in the game.
Gray, Golden, Hakeem Olajuwon. I do think the card's good, but I think there's a limit to how high I can be on him. Sean Kemp is
he's really good.
Stud.
Yeah.
He's in there at A tier, right there with Bob McAdoo. J-Dub, Jalen Williams. I mean, since he can't play small forward, he's gonna go D tier.
Who's running a 6'5" power forward? Come on, man. He really sinks. I would honestly go F. He's so bad at power forward. If he was shooting guard, he might be really good, but at power forward.
Like if you want to run an extremely tiny lineup.
Put it this way: imagine being matched up against Dikembe with Jalen Williams. You're just roasted. You're cooked. You're not gonna win that matchup.
Jalen Williams, but I'm telling you, you'll be running an extremely tiny lineup. Eddie Jones, I think A tier probably is the right spot.
Yeah.
He's better than Jimmy Butler.
He's really good.
I do think he's better than Jimmy Buckets. This Kawhi.
He's also good.
A-tier.
He has no sinks, and his jumper isn't amazing, but he does everything else. He's a slasher. He's a defender. I just wish he had better sinks.
It's tough though. I still think Paul George, Ron Artest, Franz Wagner are all better than him, so I actually don't even have a problem putting him at A tier. David Robinson, Pink Diamond.
He's okay.
I know a lot of people don't love D-Rob.
I don't know about A tier, to be honest, because D-Rob's release is impossible to green. But you could argue him there.
Especially the Pink Diamond D-Rob, now that the Opal D-Rob's out. But I hate to break it to you guys, he is still an A tier caliber card. The card can still play at a really high level. Joel Embiid, A tier as well. This one,
I agree.
I'm sorry about. I think, Joel Embiid is an absolute beast, an absolute stud on this game. Easy, in my opinion, easy addition to put in that A tier. Scottie Pippen.
He's also really good.
I mean, it's so hard to do this.
I'd rather have Eddie Jones than Scottie though, just because the six and Scottie's release isn't as good as Eddie's. But
rankings, it really is. Hedo, I don't like Hedo. You're gonna go C tier. Pink Diamond, Kareem.
He's good.
I mean, he's 7'2". He has the ability to shoot the ball. I gotta go A tier, but he's not S tier. D-Book.
He's really good.
S tier. I've said it all along. He's the easiest card in this.
He has decent defense, especially if Badge is added. He's 6'5" or 6'4". I'm pretty sure he's 6'4". He has the best release in the game and amazing sigs and the best dribble saw in the game, besides Darius Garland. So he's amazing. Still, after 2 months, he's S tier.
This game to use because his release is literally trash.
He stinks. He stinks. Magic Johnson is not B tier. Just because he's 6'9" doesn't mean that he's B tier. Let's just look at this card. So he has low free ball, 77. His release stinks. He has a pretty good driving dunk, but his defense is super mid. He doesn't come with that many badges, especially on the defensive end. You need to add a lot of badges like Deadeye, Limitless, shifty. I'd also add off-ball pests, challenger, box out beast, brick wall. He just needs so many badges, and his release stinks. So
it does take a special person to know how to use magic.
no one can use magic. No one even has him in the lineup.
If you know how to use him, he can be pretty good.
No one knows how to use magic.
Jermaine O'Neal stinks. His release is just too slow for me. He's D tier. Jamal Mashburn isn't.
He's
horrible.
decent.
I'm actually
B.
gonna go up to B tier with
Yeah.
him. If you chose him out of the locker code, you got a really good card in Jamal.
SGA is decent,
This SGA,
but the other one's so much better.
Good, but he's only A tier. You can't throw this SGA in S tier. You just can't. He's fine. He's not S tier. This card Malone at this stage, I'm gonna go D tier. I don't love him. Tyler Hero still is not bad.
He's okay.
B tier Tyler Hero. I don't know why.
Except he can hardly drive. He can hardly dunk the ball, and his defense isn't that good. It's really decent. It's mid. So I would have him at C tier, to be honest. But you can argue him at B. You can.
People hate on Tyler Hero. I genuinely don't. The card is 6'5". I think he's 6'5". He's got the SGA moving crossover, which is cheesy. There's just not a lot of flaws in Tyler Hero. The card to me is an absolute beast.
There is a lot of flaws, Ty. He can hardly dunk the ball. Come on.
An absolute stud. Steve Francis
Stinks. Oh my
F tier,
god, he
maybe
sucks
the
so
worst,
bad.
Card that isn't, a Yao Ming on this entire list. F tier for Steve Francis. Pascal Siakam.
He also
he's not
sucks.
very good either.
He's only
side for
6'9".
this, era of the game. D tier for Spicy P. Next up, Luka. I don't know, man. I'm still gonna go
B tier.
because he has a long lead.
B. Just because the man's 6'7" doesn't mean he gets to automatically be in B tier. Come on. Let's just look at this trash card. Sure, his free ball looks good, but his release is horrible. That base is just so slow. His defense stinks. Just look at his 79-79. Like, who you gonna lock up with that? Even if you're running this card, I feel sorry for you. 80 driving dunk, that's so mid. He comes with literally no defensive badges at all. So this card is just going to get blown by every possession. And he's not going to even hit shot. He's really easy to contest because he's slow jumper. So I don't know what he's doing with his tier list right now, but Luka stinks in this game.
Luka's not perfect on this game, though. But he's fine. Like, if you're
He's not fine.
And you're
He's
having
not.
success with him,
Believe me, no one's having success with Luka Doncic.
He's fine. He's not great by any means, but the card is fine, and you can definitely run him.
He's
Artis
not.
Gilmore stinks.
Yeah, he does.
D tier.
F.
No, he's F tier.
Yes.
He's F tier. I'm sorry, Artis,
Yes.
you're F tier. You aren't fast. You don't do anything on the court. F tier. Clay.
He's okay.
E tier probably. Like, right in there with Jimmy Butler.
He just can't create his own shot. That's the biggest. And he's not a good slasher. But for the rest, he's almost perfect.
Gonna shoot the ball well, but that's about it. Steve Smith, B tier. I don't
Oh,
think Steve Smith is.
Steve Smith, B tier. He's so mid. I would argue him at C, to be honest. Let's look at the card. So, 95 defense, which is really mediocre. He is pretty tall at his position, but his release, his upper stinks. It has such a bad hitch, and it makes the KCP base is actually really good, but the upper just ruins the whole release. It has this weird hitch that makes it almost impossible to green. Then you look at his defense, 85-89. That's mid. It's not really outstanding at any means. He has a 60 standing dunk, and yeah, he doesn't come with great defensive badges. You have to upgrade the on-ball menace, the pick dodger. You'd have to give him brick wall, glove, high paint patroller, and high flying denier. He just is so mid. He's not as good as Jimmy or as good as Calvin at. He's just not.
Great. But maybe it's recency bias how he's over Chris. No, I gotta move Chris Mullin up. I got to. I don't love Chris Mullin.
What? Chris Mullin and B tier? I would even take Steve Smith over him. What is he doing? Chris Mullin? He's saying Chris Mullin is as good as Jimmy Butler. Jimmy plays such better defense. He has a way better release than Chris Mullin. He dunks the ball better. What is he doing?
I move Chris Smalling up A tier. Danny Granger, B tier. Danny Granger is
He's
solid.
good. He's good.
But he isn't A tier. I don't think he's as good as that.
Yeah.
Some of those guys at A tier. Just more so than anything because defensively, he's just not perfect. Jerry Stackhouse, I'm going to go C tier with Stackhouse. Not horrible, but that's where he belongs. Rudy. Everybody says I always underrate Rudy.
You do.
I'm going to throw him in A tier.
And you are right now.
I think that's
You're underrating Rudy really bad right now. Rudy's one of the best. He's probably the second best small forward in the game. Or third behind Giannis. Let's look at this card. Rudy Gay. He has a 93 ball with one of the best releases all year. He's 6'8", which is pretty good size for small forward. He has amazing sigs, and he has a really good leaner. What more do you want from a card? He can dunk the light out with 95 driving dunk. He has a 90 speed, is really fast. He has decent defense, and he comes with quite a lot of defensive badges. All I would add to Rudy to make him probably the best small forward in the game is just add brick wall, glove, paint patroller, and limitless. Then I can't imagine a better small forward than him. He's so good in this game. And Tydebo'S just keeps underrating him. He's way too good.
That's a fair tier. If you want Rudy at S tier, I don't know what to tell you. He is not as good as Paul George.
He is. He's better.
Compare the cards.
He's B. He's mid. What?
I'm going to throw him at A tier.
Rudy in the same tier as Draymond. Let's just look at this. Rudy is a better slasher than Draymond. Rudy has a much better release than Draymond. Draymond has his release on slow. Rudy has much better sigs than Draymond. The only thing Draymond can do better than Rudy is defend. And Rudy isn't even a bad defender at all.
That's because I have Draymond Green. And I use Draymond Green. And I like Draymond Green. I know his release isn't the quickest. But to me, it's super easy to time.
It's the easiest release to contest in the game, basically.
Super easy to green. He plays a ton of defense. I'm going A tier. Adam Morrison, I think Adam Morrison is
good.
A tier primarily because of his offensive ability.
He's in the same tier as Rudy, I think. But they both should be S. They're both much better than Draymond and Eddie Jones and Paul Millsap.
Defensively, Adam Morrison doesn't do anything. Offensively, he is a stud.
He's okay.
Cedric Maxwell, probably Cedric
His release
Maxwell
is good.
Really that three ball. I'm going to throw him at C tier. I don't hate him because his release is fantastic. But that three ball being as low as it is hurts the card. To me,
that's
C
true.
tier. Allen
He's pretty good.
next. I don't know. I've not used.
He's probably B. He should be in B.
C-tier. However, I can see a world in which you guys have Allen Houston higher, and I can see a world in which you have Allen Houston lower. So that's where I'm gonna put him. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's where he's going.
He kind of stinks.
Joakim
Noah stinks. B is not right. It's C. C is the right spot.
Joakim Noah deserves A tier.
He doesn't. Who's arguing that?
Like,
Who's saying that?
Hard time putting him at A tier. I'm putting him at B tier.
What?
I don't think he is
What?
B tier though. I don't know.
Yeah, he is in B tier. He's C tier. What?
I don't. I'm gonna
Oh.
put him in A tier, but I don't love it. I'm gonna.
How can you rank this card in the same tier as Bob McAdoo? Let's just look at this horrible card. He has a 69 free ball with one of the worst bases and uppers in the whole game. You can't shoot with the card. Sure, he's amazing defensively, one of the best defensive cards in the whole game, but he cannot shoot. What are we doing? And he's not an outstanding dunker. He doesn't have amazing speed. Bob McAdoo is so much better. He's so much better. Let's just look at this. Let's compare these two players. It's night and day difference. Just look at this. Bob McAdoo has 9 higher on his 3-point shot. He's a much better slasher. He's much faster. What are we doing? He's better badge. What are we saying right now? What's this argument? Look at this. Wesley Matthews upper. Oh my goodness. Tydebo'S really lost me this one.
Reluctantly put him at A tier. I'll say that.
You're not.
Kristaps Porzingis S
He's
tier
not
is
A
not
tier.
position.
He is S. He is S.
He's one of the top 3 or 4
Top
centers
two.
in the game. I don't want to
Top
call
two.
him the
Top
second
two.
best center in the game.
He is.
Galaxy Open. D-Rob's in the game.
D-Rob can't shoot.
But KP is one of the better centers that we do have in this game right now.
F.
Big Diamond Jokic,
F. F.
He's
F.
horrible. Don't use him.
He's
Big
decent.
Diamond LaMelo. If you're talking on next gen, the card's
Yeah,
not good.
that's
Like,
true.
LaMelo, simply put,
On all gen, he is S tier though.
is
The
not
best
good
point guard.
next gen. Moses Malone, he's D tier. The card stinks. Kevin McHale, D tier.
Yeah.
The card stinks.
Stinks.
Ricky Davis, D tier. The card stinks.
This card used to be really good though, Ricky Davis. Especially last year. He had an amazing jumper. They just nerfed that jump shot.
Lamar Odom, C tier. The card's not very
T-Mac
good.
is okay.
T-Mac, B tier, but he's not great. Like
It really
he's still
sucks.
B tier, but he's not great. Chris Bosh, C tier, not great at all. He can shoot the ball, but that's about it. Brad Miller.
He's
I
also
mean, for a budget card,
okay.
Brad Miller's fine, but he's still only B tier. He's not great. Brooke Lopez, C tier. He's just too slow in that release stinks.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is immaculate.
S.
Man, I don't know.
S.
I'm throwing Drew Holiday at S tier. I don't
Yes.
care. I love Drew Holiday enough to throw him at S tier, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. S tier for Drew Holiday. RJ Richard Jefferson up next.
He's
Another
horrible.
I don't mind Richard Jefferson. So
He's probably C.
I think,
He's
if
not
Chris
B.
Paul is B tier, RJ has to be
They're
B tier.
both not supposed to be in B. That's the point.
I'm putting him Gilbert.
S. C. C. C.
C tier for
Yeah.
Gilbert. I guess I probably should move LaMelo.
Caron Butler's
up as well,
okay.
but I'm going to leave LaMelo there because for his price,
He's probably B.
Caron Butler is mid. Some people gas
No,
his
it's not.
card. He's mid. C tier.
He's not mid. What are you talking about? Caron Butler mid? Let's look at him then. Caron Butler. Let's compare it. Let's look at this card. 93 ball. The biggest thing with this card is his release. It's one of the best releases I've used all year. It's insane. And his sig's also pretty good. He has a good leaner. What more do you want? He has a 90 speed. He's fast. He has, okay, the defense isn't amazing, but it's decent. He comes with quite a lot of defensive badges. I'd only recommend adding Brick Wall, High Flying Denier, Paint Patrol, and Movable. For the rest, he's just amazing.
Anton Jameson. The release is just
He stinks,
too bad
yeah.
for
The
Anton
Brook
Jameson.
Lopez base just sucks.
Like, it is. He's a small forward. Card's nearly perfect. But that release holds the card.
Brook
way back.
Lopez
I'm throwing
base,
him in
man.
D tier. De'Aaron Fox.
He
another
also
gross card. I'm throwing
sucks.
De'Aaron Fox at D tier. I've never liked him this year.
He's okay.
Dale Ellis. Right in there with Allen Houston. I mean, both cards are fine. You can use both cards. I don't love either card. MJ. Ew. I don't care. I'm throwing him at F tier.
He is
I
really
don't
good
like Michael
defensively.
Jordan
I'd say that he's D because of defense.
this game. And I know people are going to get mad at me, but I don't like him. KD.
He stinks.
C tier.
He's probably
I guess,
D.
right in there with Larry Bird.
Can't-
KD is not good on this game.
Let's look at his badges and stats. It's just horrific. If KDG's watching this, I don't understand why you're running KD. He stinks. KDG is just the biggest KD lover, but he absolutely sucks. Sure, he has a 96 free roll, but his release is horrible. The Kevin Durant base isn't good this year. He isn't a great dunker, only 85 driving dunk. His defense sucks almost, 80 and 85. That just really isn't good at all. Like, what am I supposed to see good in this card? Look at his badges. He literally only has, let's just look at this card's badges. 11, he literally has 5 Hall of Fame and 5 gold badges. You have to badge this card all the way up for him to be half decent. Base KD sucks. I don't know what else to tell you.
People love to gas him because his name is Kevin Durant.
Exactly.
But trust me when I tell you guys, he's
Exactly.
not that good on this game. And once you realize it, you will see.
Pedro's pretty good.
Pedro's
Good. He's so much better. Yeah, he's
He
much
is,
better than KD.
He's only B tier, but he is better than KD for sure. No questions asked. Better than Kevin Durant. Next up, Tim Thomas. He stinks this year. D tier. No questions asked.
Tim Thomas and Ricky Davis were so good last year. They just nerfed both of their jumpers.
Daryl Dawkins, honestly, is actually
He's
a good
okay.
card.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
Daryl
underrated.
Dawkins is good.
B.
I'm going to probably have to go B tier. Again, I don't know enough about Daryl Dawkins.
The only problem with him is his 63-pointer. For the rest, he's good.
So I'm going to throw him at B tier.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not 100% sure on that. Rudy stinks. F tier. Can't shoot. Like, what are you doing on the court? I don't know. Joe Dumars stinks. D tier. Bronny James stinks. D tier.
You put him in C. Yeah.
Dumars in C tier. He's not. Michael Redd not
stinks.
B tier. Kyle Korver's solid.
Okay.
Kyle
Yeah,
Korver's
B.
got to go into B tier. And honestly, if you want to debate Kyle Korver in A tier, because he fits
The only problem I have with Kyle Korver is two things. His defense is so mid, and he can't dunk the ball very well. But for the rest, he's really good. Especially that release. The best release in the game this year.
Whatever. I just don't think for me he obviously is.
Giannis is so good.
I will never slander you
Yeah.
ever, Giannis. You're at S tier.
Unlike Carlo221. Just slandering Giannis every video.
You are one of the best power forwards in the entire game. Still to this day, because you play so much defense. Your player model's elite. I will never slander you, Giannis Antetokounmpo, ever. Gerald Wallace up next. Very solid small forward in this game.
Yeah, he is.
He is A
He's
tier.
really good.
And then last, but certainly not least, you got King James.
It's crazy.
He's S tier. Honestly, when I
LeBron, 3 months into the game, he's still S. It's really insane. The longevity of this card is insane.
started this list, I thought we might have a ton of people at S tier. Looking at it now,
Yeah,
it's
not
actually
really.
decently balanced. Like, it's way more balanced than I initially thought it would be. So, I'll take some. I actually don't mind this as much as I initially.
I do mind this tier list a bit though. You're glazing so many cards that have no business being in the tier they are. Like Luka, he can't defend, can't slash. Tyler Hero, he's okay, but Joakim Noah, all these cards stink so bad, and you have them looking like they're good. I don't know, man. I expected better, but yeah. I guess this will do it for today's video. See you in the next one, guys, and peace.